What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Under Review, where we review all the latest and greatest games that come out on all, or at least the majority of the consoles. This week we are looking at the very highly anticipated Rockstar production of Red Dead Redemption 2. So we welcome you to 1899 Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that takes place 12 years before the events of the original Red Dead. Now you play as Aurthur Morgan, who is part of a very tight-knit group of free livers. They spend most of their time living as free men away from the norms of civilization. Towns and cities begin to expand across America. They are constantly on the move from local law enforcement until they find the right time to make a move on a big-time score that would in turn set them up for the future. Living far away from civilization, but we all know that it doesn't always end up working out the best way, though, does it? The game is not always the most creative when it comes to the overall premise, but it's in the game's execution that sets it apart from every other open-world game in the past decade. Now, first, let's look at the side missions. So you find in the massive open world of the game, for starters, a lot of the side missions you find do not feel like fillers or placeholders from the actual main plot of the story. They actually feel more concise. They are a feeling, it leaves you like a feeling of belonging and playing along with the main plot. There is no quest that will make your main character do something that would be completely the opposite of what he would normally do, or the norms. So for a majority of the game, your main goal is to survive and help your gang stay up on its resources, which seems to flow pretty well into a game such as this, that it will have you committing a lot of varied crimes and killings and murders and stuff like that. But hunting is actually one of the fun activities I really enjoy doing, and which is something you actually really need to do for your gang. And it's actually very beneficial to your group because you gain lots of material and it helps keeps everyone fed, and you have to focus on that. All side missions are received are just exploring. You don't get to do like a menu board or go to like this place or like a central hub to get your missions. They all feel really, really organic. And you select side missions that you want to do by just going to the destinations throughout the world. So as you explore, you're uncovering them. So whether it is someone pulling you to the side and asking you for help, or giving you tips for possible heist locations, but you got to remember to pick your missions wisely, because you have to remember that you're living in a very cynical time, and where if you help someone, they may pop up later in a different town or in a town you're heading to and reward you. But on the flip side of the coin, if you try to help someone out, they may actually be there to set you up to rob you. You got to think about it before you start helping everybody out. It kind of makes you think about it a little bit more when you go to help people out in this game. The combat is very tight as well. So Red Dead 2 actually feels very close to another huge Rockstar property in GTA 5. A lot of the missions will involve robbing or killing someone that eventually goes south and a shootout will ensue. The guns are very modern to the era that you're playing in. So reloading your weapon will take a little bit of time, and cover is going to be very, very important. The kills are also pretty brutal as well, where you see a nice place headshot will have a nice slowdown animation to show you the enter and exit wounds of the bullet shot. But as you play like 60, 80, 100 hours of this game, it may get a little bit, monotonous at times. Now, the horses of the open world game are your main mode of transportation, which is to kind of be expected when you're in a Western. Now, there are different breeds of horses that you'll come across, and yes, they all have different attributes. Horses can also be upgraded. You can change out their horseshoes and give cosmetic changes to them as well. Also, you got to keep in mind that horses can die. So if you're in a combat situation, it's always best to stable your horse before entering a combat zone, because you can lose your horse. And you'll have to either go buy a new one, which is expensive, or steal one. The more of a bond you gain with a specific horse, however, will also increase its abilities, so always try to keep the same horse throughout the entirety of the game, because you build a bond with that horse, and it's going to increase its attributes and work well with you. And you also do this by grooming your horse. So if you're in a little bit of downtime in between missions, or you're at your camp, you can brush your horse, and it'll form those personal connections with your horse, which also increases attributes, and it works much better with you. Now, this game does offer up a lot in the form of personality. You play as Aurthur, like we said before, and they would live in the world at that time. You spend time getting dressed just right for the right occasion, forming relationships with other members or women that you meet in towns, and of course your horse, who is an integral part of the story. Now, this game is full, and I repeat, full of content, and offers a lot in the scope of the Midwest. Yes, this game can be brutal. It's a Rockstar game. But it really shows and tells the story of the time modernized in America, and how resistant some felt towards the expansions of cities and change. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a beautiful game, and full of groundbreaking attributes that this is one of the most compelling open world games of the decade. You can tell the work that went behind this game and the passion that the creators had for this project, and it shows. All the way from the setting to design, all the way to the voice acting, this was a treasure. If you're a fan of open world games by any stretch of the imagination, and you like games with tons and tons of content that are going to keep you within that world, this is absolutely the game for you. You will not be finished by this weekend. The game's launching on a Friday. You will not be done with this game by the weekend. Especially not 100%ing. There's no way. So this is the game that you need for this season, and will take you all the way into the spring of next year and still give you plenty to do. All that, and the multiplayer is still not even live yet. We still have that coming down the pipeline. So that reason alone, this game was probably one of my top 3 games of the year. We gave Rockstar Games Red Dead Redemption 2 a very, very impressive 9.5 out of 10. This game was impressive. And this is going to be one of the must-own, must-play games of the year, alongside of a couple others. But we're not going to go into all that. But if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2, or you're looking to play it, or you're on the fence about it, don't be on the fence about it at all. This is a must-own, must-play, and probably one of the top games of the year. So thank you very much for watching. We hope you guys have enjoyed this. And until next time, game on.